most of us, we go to a home visit, we do our assessment on our own, and we start treating the patient. But very few people are doing documented assessment and evaluation. First of all, you don't do a complete thorough evaluation sometime, or if you do, you don't document. The documentation of evaluation is very, very important. Please note this quote: anything which is not written is not done. So there is no evidence that whatever you assessed or whatever you have done can be proved. So always remember, anything which is not written is not done. So please write down whatever you do. Assessment has to be written for every new case or whatever you are treating. Keep a copy of that assessment sheet with you and one copy with the patient. The assessment should not be more than 2 pages. See, home visit is a total 1 hour session maximum, and within that, if you take half an hour for assessment and then documentation for 10-15 minutes, you are actually taking away so-called treatment time, 50% of the treatment time of the patient, and the patient may not be willing to pay you for that session. So your assessment has to start, it should finish within 5 to 10 minutes, and the documentation also should finish very fast. So my suggestion is that it has to be only 2-page assessment page, and there should not be written columns there. It should be always tick, tick, tick. Like suppose you say diagnosis, so there should be always written diagnosis: stroke, spinal cord injury, head injury, or knee problems, anything like that. It should be written, and you should do tick, tick, tick. Or in the range also, you should have a written range there, like from 0 to 100 degrees. So you should have columns there. You just tick like 100 degrees the range. Or assessment of MMT, the grade 1 to 3 should be already written there. You just have to circle it or tick it, whatever the assessment of the stent is there. So like that also, your physical assessment also has to be having a tick type of option, as well as your functional assessment has to be a tick type of option. Please do functional assessment very frequently in home visit. In home visit, they are not bothered about what is the change in the strength. They are more bothered about what is the function is being changed. If you have a good functional assessment, which is maybe not the standardized assessment like you are taking any FIM or Bartholomew Days, you can have a very simple functional assessment, like how much time he takes to get up from supine to sit, or how much time he takes to do sit to stand, or say how much distance he can walk, like he can walk 10 meters with assistance or without assistance. Like this simple assessment methods can be also written there, and then you can reassess these functional assessments, and these are called as non-standardized functional assessment. I use this non-standardized assessment very frequently. All these non-standardized assessment has to be numerical values, either in terms of repetition, either in terms of distance, or in terms of errors. And once you do this functional assessment, you need to set up monthly goal. Always remember, our patients are always there for at least weeks or month. So you should set a short-term goal which is for a month. Like in Neuro, we set monthly goal. If you are doing a musculoskeletal type of patients or pain management patient, you can set weekly goal. So by the end of 1 week, I will be able to reduce the pain from level 8 on pain rating scale to 4 or 2. Whatever is convenient, you can write that and document there. Or if you want to say you want to improve the range of strength from 1 degree to 2 degree, then you can write down. So you need to set the short-term goals, and then give a copy of this assessment to them, or you can use the assessment evaluation format also. In the end, I will show you some of the assessment Google Sheet I use online. So I put that documented everything in the Google Sheets, and then I can send one copy of the Google Sheet to the patient also. So you have online assessment also, which can be shared with the caregivers. Daily worksheet. This is where we lack. We do assessment, but we don't write down what we are doing daily. So you need to have daily worksheets. The daily worksheet should be having simple format, like a patient name and month, and you can have a date here. Like this is the month of June, so 1st of June, 2nd June, 3rd June, like that you can write here, and you can write n number of exercises here, and write the exercise done in terms of numerical values. Like you can write in repetition, or you can write in the minutes. So whatever you are doing, it has to be in numerical value. So it becomes very easy for you to write down, and to write down 5 exercises. And this exercise you have to write one time. Next date, like on every day, you have to just write the number here, and it will take not more than 1 minute here. So it will save up time for you. and you can keep one copy at the patient place, and you can keep one copy with you, or you can keep the one copy with you only, and every day you take a photo and send it on WhatsApp. So the patient and his relative will always have information. Now this part is very, very important, like sending the copy of daily worksheet to the patient or the caregivers. Most of the time, the customer or the beneficiary is not the one who is going to pay for your visits. The visits can be paid, like suppose in case of a stroke, the father is sufferer, but and the beneficiary is the father, but the financial provider is his son. So if you send this worksheet daily, like today he did 10 repetition of this, 20 repetition of this, sit to stand did 100 times, like that, you send a daily copy WhatsApp copy of this on WhatsApp to the caregiver, so he understand, oh, he did so many exercises today, so many repetition. And someday if he does less exercises, you can write them that like today we did less repetition or increased repetition. So the patient relatives always have information, are we going upward or downward, and this numerical value can be read by anybody. So it is very easy to follow. This also takes care of the second part, like how much time the session was done. So at the end of this session, you can write total minutes of the session. So if you did a 1 hour session, you can write 60 minutes, 70 minutes, 80 minutes. So whenever the session goes higher or lower, you can write down at the end of this column as after the exercises. And also if sometime we treat neurological population, sometimes they pass motion during the session. So here you can write pass motion changing required 20 minutes. And in the total session, like you did 30-minute session and 20 minutes was taken for the changing. So the total session was gone from 30 plus 20 plus post cleaning you did again 20 minutes. So your total session was for 60 minutes, and because of this motion you extended 10 minutes or 20 minutes. So or you can complete the whole session in 1 hour. So the patient's relative will always understand your total session was 1 hour and you billed for 1 hour. The time which was wasted during changing can be accepted or not accepted in the billing, can be a mutual understanding. If they accept, then it is good. If they don't accept, then you have to extend the session for 10-20 minutes. But there is a documented proof that you have extended your time beyond your allotted time. So please understand this small thing creates a good experience. Like your session was 1 hour, and because of changing you waited there for 1 hour 20 minutes. So you are doing a small favor on them, that you waited, being more human, you try to help them, and they will remember this small gesture out of your generosity, and this will create a good experience. So all these small details also can add value to your overall experience. After that, you need to do every month reevaluation. When I say every month reevaluation, that has to be declared when you are going to do the reevaluation. Like suppose you started the session around 12th of the month. So you can either do the next reevaluation on next 12th of the month, or you can keep a constant. Like you can start any time of the month. Like suppose you started 12th of this month, but you can do the reevaluation on every first week of the month. Like I keep for my convenience, so that I remember and the patient also remember. Every first week of the month is always a reevaluation day, where I reevaluate every patient who I am treating. So everybody is prepared now. The first week of every month is the reevaluation, so they are also prepared. They are also waiting that did we improve or not improve, what is the change. Both of you are prepared for reevaluation. So nobody has require you to remind that you have to do the reevaluation. And keep record of each reevaluation. You can have a regular assessment sheet separately, and you can have a reevaluation sheet separately, because reevaluation sheet doesn't require all the basic complaint details and name, age, sex, like that. You can have a just functional assessment as the reevaluation page, and you can just document what are the things which were expected in the goal achievement, and what you could achieve, what you couldn't achieve. So here the point has to be, what is the goal you have set? Like suppose you have set 3 goals. Out of that, you could achieve 2 goals, and you couldn't achieve the third goal. So you need to discuss with the patients and caregivers that we could achieve 2 goals out of the 3, and the third goal could not be achieved because of reason 1, reason 2, reason 3. So you have to give a reasons. Maybe because of increase in stiffness, maybe because of increase in spasticity, maybe because the problem was more chronic. Anything which you understand is more valid reason. So you have to explain them reason why you couldn't achieve. Nobody is going to complain why you are not achieved it. But if you give a logical reason, there is a proper explanation for what you could achieve, what you couldn't achieve, that makes sense to the patients and the caregivers, and they accept you. Okay, so you need to declare what you achieved or what you couldn't achieve, and what goal you need to work for next month. So again, you have to really set the goal for the next month. So out of the 3 goals, the third goal which was not achieved continued in the next week, next month, and you can add 2 more goals. So this goal setting is very important. Again, goal setting has to be very, very simplistic. Like you cannot say I will improve the strength from 1 to 5 or 1 to 2 or 3. Like in neurological population, we cannot change the muscle strength from 1 to 2 or 2 to 3 in a month. So I don't set goal setting based on impairment. Like I don't set goal of improvement of range or improvement of pain or improvement of strength. I set a goal based on function. Like you were able to sit for 2 minutes. So for next month, I want you to sit without support or with minimum support for 10 minutes or 20 minutes. Or if you could do supine to sit with minimum support, you should be able to do supine to sit without support. Or within 2 minutes, you should be able to do 5 times supine to sit, or sit to stand 5 times or 20 times in 2 minutes. Like that, you can set a goal. These are very simple goals, but a very, very achievable goal, and it is highly measurable goals because you don't require expertise from the patient relatives to understand did you achieve the goal or not. Like simply, if you say that I want the goal for next month is that this patient should be able to do sit to stand 20 repetition within 3 minutes, and the patient's relative also can, oh, you set a goal for sit to stand in 3 minutes and he did 18 sit to stand in 3 minutes. So although he did not achieve, but he was close enough, and they feel happy about it. And this is very, very measurable and achievable goal compared to talking about pain reduction or strength or range. You may or may not achieve because there are so many factors which are affecting. So let's take an example of orthopedic case. Suppose you got an elbow stiffness case and you are working on mobilization. Instead of saying that the goal should be improve the range of movement, I say, okay, today you are not able to lift a bag of 1 kg. After 1 month, I want you to lift the bag of 2 kg up to 90 degrees or overhead. Or you can say when you are eating, you couldn't take the hand towards mouth, and there was a difference of 20 centimeter from your hand to mouth. So next month you should have at least 10 centimeter of difference when you try to eat. So it's an indirect assessment for your goal, and it is very simply measurable and can be understood by the patient and relative. Instead of doing a volumetric measurement, you can use this simple assessment tool which can be even assessed and measured, and what do you say, the patient caregiver can also assure, oh, he could achieve that or not achieve that. It's very simple. So what I'm trying to tell you by this so much of discussion about assessment and goal setting or the non-standardized outcome measure, as well as non-standardized goal setting, is that your goal has to be very, very simple. First, it should not require any fancy equipment for measurement. Next, it should not require any skilled man or a therapist to pick up the change. Anybody should be able to pick up the change in your goal. So if you set goal, you can have your regular goals as a secondary goals, or it can be sub goal of the bigger goal. But I usually set this kind of goals. If you like that, you can follow it. Or if you want to keep setting the previous goal, which is based on typical impairment, you can keep doing that. But being a neurotherapist, and I focus too much on rehabilitation of the neuro rehab people, only 10% of the time we are able to change the impairment level. Like we can't change the strength or coordination many times, but can we change the function? Yes, we can change the function. So I always assess on the function, and I always set goals on the function, and it becomes very easy to explain in the patient's relative what is the progress. So talking of the progress, once you do this goal setting and everything, talk about the progression. Is the patient is going in progressive direction, or it is going in a regressive direction? So the spasticity is increased or decreased, or you need to comment. Is it we are going in a right direction or wrong direction? So this comment are very important for the patients to understand, and it has to be documented. And once you do that, also please don't forget to write down factors which affected the progression or regression, like factors which help you to achieve the goal or factors which did not help you to achieve the goal. It could be the non-modifiable factors. It could be age, sex, emotions. Emotions can be modifiable. Age, sex can be a non-modifiable goal or factors, or you can have modifiable factors also. So you can write down these things which were affected the achievement of the goal or not achievement of the goal. So all these things play a major role in the communication of your evaluation.